everyone, hope you're doing well. International breaks, I thought it'd be a good time to take a look at the West Ham transfers. The pink book is out. I've got my pink book out. I've got my rumours. And West Ham have been linked to some big names in the last week. And when I say big names, I don't just mean the famous ones, the household ones. None of that. I mean long ones. Long ones with lots of consonants that I don't know how to pronounce. I'm probably going to hash it up. I'm probably going to butcher it. But I'm going to give it a go. However, all the players we're linked to in this video I've put in the description below to click, so you can click on their profile and see exactly who it is and just how wrong I've got these names. But before I get into all the players that we've been linked with, including Aaron Ramsey, this episode is sponsored by S4S Scouting.com. If you want to get into scouting, if you want to find the next Aaron Ramsey, if you want me to talk about the players that you have scouted, then you can get involved in their workshop. The link is in the description. Or go to S4S Scouting.com. It's run by Jed. I've done an interview with him a month ago maybe. That video's at the end of this one if you want to watch it. He spotted Saïd Benrahma over in France, 2nd division, when he was just a couple of million quid. He now runs the workshops, so you can join up. It doesn't matter if you're looking for a new hobby, just something to do to kill the time, or if you're looking at this from a professional standpoint, because he does have the people that do go on the workshops are often involved with lower league English clubs and so on and so forth. So if you're looking to get involved in the scouting side of the professional game, this is an excellent place to start. But likewise, if you're just looking for a hobby, something to do, gain more skills until we're out of lockdown, take a look. But massive thank you to Jed and the team over at s4scouting.com for sponsoring this video. Right, let's kick on. Aaron Ramsey, the Juventus midfielder, we all know him, the Welshman that used to play for Arsenal, went to Juventus a couple of years ago on a free contract. He's still there, sort of a squad role perhaps. He's had a decent amount of starts under his belt, but he's not a first team regular or anything like that. In the last week he's been linked to West Ham and Liverpool. He's been linked to Liverpool as well, which would probably make more sense with Wijnaldum on his way out of Anfield, but it's a transfer rumour, and that's what we discussed on the West Ham transfer rumour show. I can't see it. I'm willing to dismiss this one really, because he's still got a couple of years to go on his Juve contract, so he won't be free. There will be a transfer fee involved, but it's his wages. He's on something ridiculous, about £400,000 a week or something. He's on at Juventus. Can't see it at all. The only way I could see something like this occurring is if he joined on loan, but even that is a bit of a stretch because Juve would want the majority of his wages paid, and we're not going to do that. We wouldn't even pay a quarter of his wages, so I just can't see this one happening at all. But let's dismiss that. Let's move on to names that I don't know how you pronounce and players I've never heard of. Starting with Darius Alaru. He's a Romanian centre midfielder. He plays in Romania for FSCB. 23 years old. That's about all I know about him because I googled him. I had a little look. I refused to watch the highlights, so I shall not do that. But I will go on the scouting course with me and Gonzo. When we do watch the highlights, people say, well, what do you know about this guy? Who are you to judge? Because I say, well, actually, got a scouting certificate, mate. Anyway, I've never heard of him. It makes sense, a centre midfielder being linked to him. He's round about the £6 to £8 million mark, so he's not overly expensive. I had a little look and seen an interview he done where he was speaking openly about potentially moving to the Premier League. He said he prefers Spain, but he could see himself competing and coping in the Premier League as well, so he's sort of open to a move, if you like. 23 years of old as well. It's a decent age for us to be targeting. I think that's the kind of age bracket that David Moyes is trying to get players in, the early 20s to the mid 20s, but with enough experience. It's a difficult thing to do because not all those youngsters have such experience under their belt at that age. But 23 years of age, I've never heard of him, but I could see some sort of profile, if you like. He fits the profile. Dusan Vlahovic. Now, some of you have heard of this guy, the Fiorentina striker. 21 years old, scored 12 goals in Serie A this season. He's got a £35 million price tag on him, but he's been linked with a couple of other big clubs like Leipzig. We're being linked to him as well. We know we need a striker. We need a first choice striker this summer. Could it be Dusan? He's been called up the Serbian national squad of late. He's got 4 caps to his name now. I don't know much about him. I recognise his name for some reason, but I don't know why, because I don't think I've watched Fiorentina this season, so I don't know why I've recognised the name. But we're being linked to him as well. The £35 million price tag, it's a bit off-putting. That's probably what makes me want to dismiss this. But like I said, I don't know enough about him in terms of what he's like as a striker, in terms of his profile. But what you guys are doing, feel free to put it in the comments below. I will be having a little read. Now, the next one we've probably all heard of is Nikola Maximovic, the centre-back, the Italian centre-back that's playing at Napoli. Now, the reason you've heard of this one is because a year ago, literally a year ago we were linked to him. Last summer we were linked to him quite a lot, actually. Obviously it never occurred, but his contract's coming to an end this summer, so he's currently only got 3 months left of his Napoli contract, which means West Ham can negotiate him now. We can negotiate with him now under the Bosman ruling, get a pre-contract agreed if we wished, and he would join us for free once his contract at Napoli expires at the end of June. Now there's some reports already stating that has happened, that West Ham have got an agreement in place with Maximovic. I'm not sure if it's that advanced, because I think we'd have heard more about it from the West Ham side of things, because this is very much like a national newspaper sort of rumour, and sort of the West Ham in the nose would leak this kind of thing, and that's not happened yet, which would suggest that there is no deal in place. But could it happen? I think so. I wouldn't. If you asked me a few months ago, to say no, we don't need a centre back. But given the Balbuena situation, which I'll touch on later because it's not news as such, it's not new. Given that situation, I could see us getting a centre mid, but I don't think we'd spend money in that area of the park. With Albona, Dawson and Diop, I think we could do with one more without spending money. So if an experienced centre-back like him on a free, it's ticking a lot of boxes, isn't it? So I wouldn't be surprised if there's something in that. I just don't think it's as far as they're suggesting. Now the other guy that we'll be linked with is another striker from Stuttgart that I don't know how you pronounce, is Sasa Kalajdzic. He scored 13 goals over in the Bundesliga. There's no price tag being attached to his head, but again, he's another one that's sort of open to move to the Premier League. He was talking about Liverpool specifically, but he was suggesting that he would come to the Premier League if he wanted to. He's got a couple of years left on his Stuttgart contract. However, negotiations are halted, if you like. They're not really progressing. And when he was asked about it, he certainly kept his options open. He said, I'd love to stay at Stuttgart. However, if a move was to come up, I'd be interested, kind of thing. So he's a player covering his arse, but also open to moving away. He's flirting, he's fluttering his eyelashes at the Premier League clubs as well. So again, like I said, all the links to these players' profiles are in the description. So if you just click on them, you'll see exactly what player I'm talking about. Now, because Craig Dawson started against Arsenal, that means he's triggered the clause. He will become a West Ham player for £2 million, in addition to the £1 million we've already paid Watford for his loan fee, so a total of £3 million for Ham on loan, then for him to sign permanently. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is announced by the club during the international break, because he's 12 starts he had to do. He's started 12 games now, and that has now triggered a clause in the loan deal, which sees Craig Dawson become a permanent fixture of the West Ham squad for next season for £2 million. Like I said, I don't think he was great against Arsenal, but I think he's been really, really good so far. Surprised me. He suits David Moyes' style, with the whole low block thing going on. Head it, clear it, block it is your sort of 3 priorities as a centre back at West Ham, and I think he does those 3 things well. So yeah, good. He deserves his move, and I don't know what else I could say really. He's been superb so far, so happy days. At the Balbuena thing, in case you've missed it, he's off in the summer. His contract expires at West Ham. In February he said that something was going to get sorted, and then a couple of weeks later it was a case of he's leaving. So I don't know what's happened there. I just still think David Moyes fancies him for whatever reason, which is surprising. I think he's done a job whenever he's come in. I think he's had a good season, 6, 7 out of 10. He's not a Hound of the Year contender, but he's by no means been poor. He's been unfortunate with injuries and COVID and stuff. I think he's had a solid season. So I'm perhaps a bit surprised that we're allowing someone he's not that old. I think he's 29. He's still got plenty of years left in him. But his agent has spoke and said that he's staying in European football, just not at West Ham next season. So he's off, hence why I think there is legs in us being linked to another centre-back. As for the striker stuff that's going on, Nesri was still being linked with him, the Sevilla striker. The latest rumours were that Pablo Fornals was trying to convince him to come, but also other rumours were suggesting that Adam Armstrong is David Moyes' number 1 target. And then when I spoke to Blackburn fan last week, because I've seen Armstrong a couple of times, and while he looks alright, I've never been wowed by him, if that makes sense. And when I spoke to that Blackburn fan last week, it put me off a little bit. I'm aware I'm going by his perception, and I don't think he's done S4S Scouting.com. That was a poor plug. I'm sorry, but he watches him week in, week out. It's like if you watch the highlight reel of Michail Antonio, he probably looks like Zlatan. He probably looks like a rapid version of Zlatan watching all these clips and stuff, particularly from this season and last season. But us lot that know him, watch him week in, week out, know it's not quite that simple, is it? I wish it was. But we know his weaknesses and stuff. So when I spoke to the Blackburn Rovers fan, Dirk, I mean, he was good. He happily emphasised how fast he was, but 3 goals in 3 months, and not that great in the air, and doesn't necessarily track back or run a lot or something. It didn't really appeal to me. He's put me off him a little bit. But anyway, we're still being linked with him. But that's it. That's a transfer rumours. Badly pronounced to you, so I apologise for that. But like I said, links are below. Do check out S4Scouting.com. If you do get involved in a workshop and that, let us know how you get on. They've kindly sponsored 3 videos this week: the Arsenal preview, the Arsenal review, and this video, which has helped the channel out massively. So a huge thank you to Jed. It means a lot to us. But if you've enjoyed this transfer rumour roundup, drop a like on it. If you've got any ideas for content, let me know in the comments below. International break means that we're always desperate. I mean, keen to try a couple of new things. I've got a tier list video coming out at the end of this week as well, which hopefully you can get involved in as well. I'm stealing his idea. He gave me the idea in a comment and I liked it, so I'm doing it. Yeah, subscribe and all that good stuff, and I'll catch you in a bit.